Hello, welcome. So, not sure if this counts as community drama, but this is certainly a demonstration as to why you shouldn't smoke wasps, or at least snort them. So, a character here called Abuse About Me. He will say some very offensive things. He didn't take too kindly to fighting against me as a human player in 1 versus 1. So we've got 5 replays to go through. I'm going to go through them obviously in super fast mode because the main thing is really just how the guy's complaining all the time. So we can almost have like an auto camera, follow him around a little bit and see how he goes. So he hasn't said anything so far. He's happy as Larry. Nice guy. You know, for all I know, all intents and purposes. So I'm just harassing a little bit here. Put some pressure on. Blade Master's just going to right click for all eternity. He's a bit of a one-trick pony, this guy. He likes air. And sometimes it's quite tricky to deal with as human. And I still haven't found a good way to smoothly deal with it every single time. So he gets close moments, but never really quite there. But yeah, I masked because I went fast expansion here. And I just like shut this down completely. And he's obviously focusing my Archmage so much that I'm just sort of surrounding it with rifles at this point to make it much harder for him to sort of go for the Archmage and defend footman inside of there. Wow. Okay. So he rage quit quite early there. So we're going to have to come back to that one and just see what he said. So, you know, he was quiet. He wasn't making too much noise. So we need to click that button once and then go back to 928. There we go. Thank you. This was last night. I did some 1 versus 1. I shouldn't do 1 versus 1. It's really bad for me. I know it's bad for me, but I did a bit of Elden Ring, and I'm still stuck on Melania. I'm not sure if I'm going to learn how to cheese her or something like that instead, because it doesn't feel like it's fair to sort of try to fight her normally. So, yeah. I thought, oh, I'll just do some 1 versus 1s instead. Off stream, yeah. So we'll just get to this last bit. The beauty of replays is you can't rewind them. So we have to sort of get there right at the end and get to the juicy bit. LOL. Noob race for people's broken hands like you. Bad game. So he's saying I have broken hands apparently. So he lost to someone with broken hands. That's not a good start, is it? So he started off, you know, he's not too offensive or anything like that at the moment. Just bad loser at this point. Nothing too terrible. Oh, he starts this game calling me a stupid slut, so that's a bit rude, to be honest. That's not normally how I start my 1 versus 1 games. You'll have to wait and see, won't you, Tyrell? So, going for Farseer this time. I wasn't sure it was going to be Blade Master or not. So he goes the old right-click the peasants with the wolves for all eternity. I'm just going to right-click his Farseer with my hero, so I'm putting constant pressure on that. I think we can skip forward a little bit here, because it's just dancing round and round, basically. He's just teching up and then going bestiaries. He's got towers. Because I came to his base to try to punish it, but he's got towers with spikes already, so he doesn't want to be interrupted. So I'm just going to creep. I actually do still go for his base here, actually. Even though it's got towers and spikes. Because I'm confident that with a couple of water elementals, I can actually take out at least 1 or 2 towers. This is one of those games where having the human base is kind of really uncomfortable in many cases. Cancel the bestiary, slow him down on his tech, so he's still tier 2. He doesn't build anything from the barracks. At least not at the moment. So he's just trying to defend for as long as possible, but he's got level 1 heroes. I'm level 3 at the moment. So just using the old Hex and the old healing salve to run around in circles. That's his thing, that's his trick. I think I was going Priests and Sorks here. Concentrate on like some better units. So just, yeah, chasing around, going for the kill in the base. Farseer will do. The old town portal into safety. Shadow Hunter. I probably shouldn't start my 1 versus 1 like that. I was tempted to go for the Shadow Hunter as well, but I feel like I've taken so much damage already, and it's only level 1, so you got to remember killing a level 1 hero ain't that important, because it don't give that much experience. At this point, yeah, I think he gets the Mountain King, because I was going to bring my Archmage to save him, but then I thought, I don't know, it can backfire. Yeah, I've just run off with the Archmage. Priest is dead, because he can't make it there in time to heal the Mountain King as he sort of retreats. So you have this moment where you could help out, but you could actually just throw the game if I lose my level 3 Archmage. So it's better to let the level 1 Mountain King die. So we're getting Dragon Hawks, we're getting Sorks, we're getting Rifles. So fairly well-rounded army versus Air. And Air is bloody annoying in this game. That's a very tight base, human-wise. So he's got the Creep Jack, but doesn't know how to commit to it, because I'm actually going to punish him for coming over with Ensnare there. But Hex actually does interrupt the aerial shackles, so he's able to do that at least. I wasn't even too sure myself until I saw it. So yeah, he likes his air. He doesn't like complicated strategies. So this becomes more funny later on as he starts to complain about certain things. And this is coming from someone that's basically just fast tech into air every single game, which is one of the easiest things you can ever have to do in this game. So we've got Archmage, we've got Footman, we've got Rifles, we've got Priests, we've got Sorks, we've got Dragonhawk Riders. Get a good catch there, 2 Bat Riders. Got Cloud, just to sort of punish this. Obviously he's going to tear up my base, and I've only got 1 tower. I can't really stop it. I don't want to lose too much. So as much as I'd love to stay here, this is the problem with being human. You want to punish them, but their bases are always just better than human bases. So at least I managed to pick off a bunch of his stuff on the way back. And then we're just going to have to like tower up. And you'd think, oh, maybe that'll be enough, but you'll be surprised. So he's just going to fly around again and essentially just come back to my base, because that's all he ever does. So we got towers up now, so we should be safe, right? I'm not letting it happen. I'm TPing, I'm catching what I can. Bats. So that's even more stuff that's killed there. Now he's going to do that old trick of sort of setting up an expansion so he can carry on doing this lame-in business. Drop one of the reps in there. Why? What does it do? Swap over. Anyway, let's speed it up a little bit here as we get close to the end. So I'm pretty aware. I don't know if I've actually seen it. Yeah, I have seen it. I was pretty aware that he's going to try to take an expansion. It's just that's the kind of player you're just dealing with, really. They're going to tower up the main base. They're going to constantly harass your main base. Tower up their base, harass your base, and then like set up a whole bunch of towers. So it makes it very difficult to sort of punish, even with Cloud. But 2 level 4 heroes should hopefully have a good say in the argument here. Especially picking off that. I actually picked level 1 Thunderclap here just to guarantee that kill. Otherwise it would have been level 2 Bash. Because Stormbolt and Bash versus Air. Not that Bash, you know, it's too useful unless I can get the Orb. I actually just gave up on trying to kill the Farseer there. Really super noob. Nah. Okay. So I'm not sure what really super noob nah means. I think he's coming in with another insult. Because he's changed his mind. Really super noob isn't enough. Q 50% stats equals 30% for all others. So he thinks that I got like no stats with the other races or something like that. Or you super bad player. And super stupid. So he hasn't even... This is 2 games in. He hasn't really brought out the horrendous stuff yet. We haven't got to that stage yet. He's not quite there. But we'll get there, trust me. This is like the build-up. So here's the next game. Want to see it again? I'll show you it. So we had 928, 949. Here's the next game. Watch carefully. Yep. He just leaves at the start. So he's not too happy. He's not too happy with how this has gone so far. It's not the most pleased chap in the world. Ah! Don't delete it. Blimmin' UI reforged needs to be more like 144 FPS, please. It should be, but it doesn't feel like it. I accidentally clicked that. Alright, 2, 10, 11. So you can probably guess what he's going to try to do this game. And he's gets closer to victory on this game. Put my balls on your face, stupid bitch. I say, not sure why you are so rude. It is, he's rude. He says, nobody like you. And then he starts with this whole, go F with Ukraine. I say, are you okay? He says, stupid Nazi. I said, you sound mentally unstable. So, yeah, you can kind of get a picture of the type of person we're dealing with here. You trigger them enough times and then the real person comes out. Like, they're already a bad person, but, you know, the real bad person comes out. Go F with your Nazi Ukraine, he says. And I just say, okay. And he says, hope Russian F you. I just say, okay. I learned that from Pracky. That's the best comeback you can ever type when someone's just, like, being malicious or something like that. Is literally just type, okay. It is really the best comeback you can do. It says, stupid cancer nation. So I snuck in a priest here, but unfortunately he took some damage. I've not really practiced this much before, but I'll just show this quickly how I've done this. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I should have probably done it the other way around. Because I don't normally play 1 versus 1, I was just feeling like doing it yesterday. He's Georgian, is he? Ah. So yeah, got a footman here to pick up the priest, a militia to aggro the creek camp and pull it down. So I can grab the priest and pull it up. Unfortunately this guy doesn't come along. But you can do that, and then you get the priest. And run, and hope you don't get bashed or something. Which he didn't get bashed there. If he got bashed, that could have actually just been a kill. But yeah, he's already taken like half his health. So it makes it a bit uncomfortable to bring him to abolish the wolves, because he can just be picked off here. Because he's literally on 96 out of 240 health. So that's not... I need to keep him back. I think he can see him, but I'm keeping him sort of in the distance. Yeah. And then I'll use the peasant to sort of block him a little bit whilst this guy escapes. It's worth losing the peasant to not lose the priest. So a bit of an uncomfortable beginning there. But yeah. He's doing his old trick of just teching up. 1 unit. Constant harass. He's going to dive for it, but he doesn't go for it. Doesn't get it. Going to deny it. He's putting on his zoom. It says I lost the game where he left at the start. That can't be right. I'd have to check my records. If I got a loss for that, that's kind of dumb, isn't it? Anyway, he gets his little harass here, but all you have to do is just right-click the fast here, because this is greed. He does obviously put some pressure on. He punishes the footman for low health, but at the same time he's just opened himself up. He's tier 2, but the shop isn't finished, so I can definitely get this kill. So I get the kill, walk out. I know where this is going. This is one of my worst case scenarios a lot of the time. Is dealing with an orc with air. Even on this map, I don't like it. I just never really dealt with air very well. I'll check afterwards, Taral. So we're just creeping. This is a new version of Echo R's, by the way, so I'm not so familiar with it. I'm just creeping what I can. So he's doing his expansion. I've got to get priests because my hero is almost dead. And now begins the air. So we're going to take this creek camp, get away with it, which is quite nice. Although he's creeping all the bottom stuff, so he's getting that in compensation. That builds up his hero. I'm using my archmage off to look and see what he's done. I wasn't sure where to check over there, because I checked here first. Oh, he's got sentry as well. Yep, now we see. And we've leveled up the Mountain King a little bit. But he's not far behind, because he's taken all the bottom stuff. I'm just laughing because I know that it's going to be air again. So just going to creep a little bit. Because I can't really chase him very easily when he's got air. So we get Sorks to try to slow it down, but it's not easy. Because there's lots of trees that you can fly over here to sort of protect yourself. So he's going to do that a lot. So we got some slows off. But it's very easy to sort of nuke casters. And he just TPs out, so he doesn't really get too punished other than the town portal. One trick pony. And he says, Nazi stuff, you will be eliminated. Eliminated. So he's gone from your base. I'm not going to deal with that nonsense. So yeah, it's going to be one of these games. Round and round we go. I can leave or change skill race. This is coming from someone that just literally goes circle round and round with mass air, harassing and then running away the moment you deal with it. You try to deal with it. It's very tedious to fight against this. It's incredibly tedious. Where's your expansion then, I say? Yep. Very obvious it's coming. So I've actually just gone straight to gyros here. I didn't even get Dragonhawks. I don't think I can take all these towers down, but if I could take a couple it'd be nice. Go for the peasants. I have to lose a bunch of my army. I really don't want to have this fight, but I don't want to let him just get the expansion and get away with it. So I do get a lot of the wyvern kills, which give good experience. So we're back to 4-4 versus 3-3 like last game. But I can't stay here forever. Finish off the tower. Basically have to bail out of this now. Involve versus the shockwave. And then split the gyros. So he's really only killing like... well, sometimes he doesn't even get the gyros, but... I mean, sometimes he only gets the one gyro with bats. Bats are good versus gyros, more in 4 versus 4. I think in 1 versus 1 it's easier to control versus bats. Hey, anonymous cheerer. So got a bit more damage on that one. But yeah, you're just going to pull that one away. So he literally just kills a low health gyro there. When you look at it from that perspective, that's 160 gold there on the bat. For that one low gyro. And then more are just coming in. Doesn't have the expansion yet, but he's working towards it. He really should do Tiny Great Hall, because Tiny Great Hall would screw me over. Obviously you have to have the money for it, but he could cancel a couple of bats, Tiny Great Hall, and he comes over here and he's got an expansion set up with 2 towers. I'll be in a lot more trouble then. So, just chasing the old Archmage. And the only problem with gyros is they don't really do anything once you've killed the air. And he's only making bats now at this point. But I was just so sick of him going air that I just went straight to gyros. I wouldn't necessarily suggest that. Doesn't have very good bat control. I started to get mortar teams actually, thankfully. I'll start to do that a bit better. Because I can punish it. I did that in one of the other games as well. I hate when the creeps aggro. Unfortunately they did in this situation. Got ensnared. So I'm sort of in a fight with the creeps. We can't let him have this expansion because that's his only way to come back into the game. Get the hero kill is lovely as well. That's nice and juicy. So the expansion's killed. More teams can finish off the towers, and then here comes some salt, most likely. So I'll keep it at 1 times speed so we don't accidentally go past the end of the game. You do all action wrong. Good to play Hugh. Why? It's almost like he's like discussing with himself at this point. I'll have a quick look at that picture now then, Tyrell, since the chat's already moved past. How the hell did I get a loss for that? That can't be right. So he's managed to beat me once by leaving the game straight away. How weird. Because it says the game lasted 13 seconds for me, whereas it for him, whereas it lasted like 2 seconds. You saw when I opened the replay, it just ended immediately. So, oh well. I mean, I don't care personally because it doesn't matter to me. I shouldn't even be playing 1 versus 1 in the first place. But yeah. So should be moving on to the last one, which is Concealed Heal, which actually doesn't last very long. So I don't know what he does here. I actually can't remember. I think he just complains and then leaves. Ruffle. Nazi, can you die? I say, you know Orc is way easier than human. And he just laughs. Man, you super bad player. Try it if you don't believe. You will have 40% for other max. I know. He knows. He knows, guys. No way. I don't want to play with Nazi UK. How many times has he said Nazi? Waste time, I will wait when Russia end it. BG, die please. I'm pretty sure I could just probably report this guy and get him banned on War3 Champions. The amount of offensive shite this guy's been spouting. I could. Do I really care though? I could just call him a weirdo at the end. And he says, with all your nation. So I think when you sometimes wonder, how can anyone support what Putin does? I'm not going to try to make this a political thing because I very rarely do. But this is in context with what we're seeing. If you've ever wondered, how can anyone in Russia support what Putin does? There you go. You do actually have people like this with that mindset. They'll just constantly like insult Ukraine or anyone that's allied with Ukraine and then be saying things like Russia's gonna kill you. Russia kill you all. Russia end it all. Like what's the end game here? Just Russia's the only nation left? Do you really think that's gonna be a realistic scenario? People like that are they're just mentally unstable. Maybe for his own good he should just be like not playing a video game that makes him angry because he's probably just gonna end up shooting someplace up. Anyway, yeah, they're weird. They're very weird. You come across people like this all the time. So it's like water off a duck's back for me. But yeah, very weird behaviour. But I thought you might be entertained from, you know, your average 1 versus 1 player. Those are my first games. I just playing 1 versus 1 and that was it. He's just like super angry. All right, GG.